Namaste, angels. Thank you for joining, liking, sharing, and subscribing in all the many ways that you guys support me. I do appreciate it. Special thanks always to my Patreon subscribers, with whom I have an extra special side relationship because we talk more regularly, like every day. Anyway, happy to have you all here, new and old subscribers and viewers. This is the weekly love reading for the period of tomorrow, Father's Day. Happy Father's Day, first of all. I don't think I said that in the general reading. So happy Father's Day to all to whom that applies. 6/16, Father's Day through Saturday, the 22nd. A couple of other things also happening tomorrow, Sunday, 6/16. It is on the Christian calendar, the feast day of the Holy Trinity. And so we may see that energy of 3 show up in our reading. As a matter of fact, I'm starting with the energy of 3. With a card called Happy Ending. In my numerology deck, it is 93, which equals 12, which equals 3. So we'll see that. Also, speaking of the Christian calendar and Christianity in general, in my Sagittarius full moon reading, which I hope you'll watch if you haven't seen already, because it was pretty clarifying, enlightening, brought about some epiphanies for not just myself, but others I'm hearing. In that reading, as well as in my general reading, so far there's a lot of like cross resonance. You know, they seem to mimic each other in a lot of different ways. So I don't know if that's going to come through in the love reading also, because there was love that came up in both, of course. And in fact, the feminine's advice card from my past life oracle, what they're going to be focused on or what they might get help with from the universe over the period of like the next 2 weeks in the full moon of Sagittarius energy, was specifically their love life. You know, so like a past life, love life scenario. That could mean maybe you're ending something, you know, you're completing that karmic contract, or, you know, you're furthering something and maybe reuniting with somebody, because definitely that showed up a lot too in that reading. Also was a spread about past lives in general. I did a whole past life spread using my past life oracle, and that led me to actually have additional visions. I had already had visions that I spoke of before I even started the reading, before I even laid any cards. And then after the reading, I had another that brought, you know, clarity to what I had already seen and shared with you guys. And that was about the Templar Knights, or the Knights of the Temple of Solomon, or the Knights of Christ, which I think some of us may have been in a past life. You know, if you're watching me and you watch that, or you watch that reading, and you, especially if you got any sort of feels about that past life spread, you may have been a Templar Knight. They were founded in the year 1119, and I'm feeling a lot of things about, I mean, I've been talking to you guys about the fact that this year, 2019, is in effect, numerically at least, another 1119. So I think that there's a reason I saw it during this period. I think they were sort of being like called back together. That the original group was founded or formed in 1119, and now it's like 1119 again, and we're being called back together. That's my feeling right now. So in light of that, I'd like to start with just a quick opening message, and then we'll get to all these wonderful cards that I have here. That opening message coming from the book of Ephesians 6:10 through 18, a little story passage called The Armor of God. Finally, be strong in the Lord and his mighty power. Put on the full armor of God, and you can insert the universe, you know, in place of God if you prefer to do that. The source, whatever. Put on the light. Put on the full armor of the light, let's say, if you want, so that you can take your stand against the devil's schemes. For our struggle is not against the flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the powers of this dark world, and against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms. I posted that line like 2 weeks ago. I posted that part, for our struggle is not against the flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, and against the powers of the dark, on my Facebook like 2 weeks ago, before any of these, epiphanies and revelations I've been having. Anyway, therefore, put on the full armor of God, so that when the day of evil comes, you may be able to stand your ground. And you have done everything to stand. Stand firm then, with the belt of truth buckled around your waist, with the breastplate of righteousness in place, and with your feet fitted with the readiness that comes from the gospel of peace. In addition to all this, take up the shield of faith, with which you can extinguish all the flaming arrows of the evil one. Take the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God, and pray in the Spirit on all occasions with all kinds of prayers and requests. With this in mind, be alert and always keep on praying for all of the Lord's people. So yes, we should keep each other uplifted as a collective. And specific to this week, the strength card, or the something representative of strength and Leo, came out about 5 times, like in each reading so far. And that's another reason why I feel that this week in particular, we needed this little reminder, this little opening message about standing firm in that strength, remembering that you have it, remembering that you have the support. As a matter of fact, here, I'm starting with it again. Major Arcana card 11, strength, right here. Don't forget that you have that, and remain in faith. Faith, not worry. No need to worry when you have this and this. On that note, let's do this. So, ironically, coincidentally, I am beginning with Past Life in the #tag Creepy deck. I already showed you Happy Ending in the numerology deck. I was moved to pull out my Egyptian, they're like Sibylla cards, oracle cards, starting with the Jack of Hearts, which is kind of like a Knight of Cups. Major Arcana card 5, Unity, or the Hierophant. Major Arcana card 11, Strength. I may use this deck for clarification of this one, perhaps. I just took it out just in case. I otherwise don't plan on using it. And the Miriam, Sacred Vision, which is hilarious to me since I've been having all these visions this weekend. Choose to forgive in order to heal. See the light in all. Remember that love has no boundaries. I'm going to start with this one. With Major Arcana card 5, Unity, the Hierophant. Embrace this time of deep spiritual growth. You may feel called to act as a mentor, to find a new teacher, or to spend time with others who are also on a sacred path. And I think that that's what it's about for us. This is spending time with others. Like we're all watching. When we all, when I premiere a video and we're live and we're talking, right, as we sort of watch the video together, even if we're not together in person, we're communing with other people on a similar sacred path to our own. So even something like that, like fulfills this and can fulfill that space in you if you feel that you have that and you need something like that kind of support. Additionally, Major Arcana card 5, the Hierophant, is about contracts and the spiritual and commitment, marriage even. Open to the Queen of Autumn, who's thoughtful, caring, creative, and ingenious. Also a Capricorn, Virgo, or Taurus, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. Actually, the Hierophant also represents the sign of Taurus. You'll be given advice that's both practical and creative, and it should be followed precisely. Focus only upon the positive in every situation or person. unity. The Five of Winter. Your current path isn't leading you toward the happiest possible outcome, so why not change it? Always maintain integrity and compassion, but be alert to the hidden agendas of others. Five of Winter. The Queen of Spring. Talented, brilliant, independent, and charming. Don't underestimate your ability to manifest your dreams. You may have several priorities vying for your attention at once, but you can do it. Queen of Spring is a Leo. So that's strength again. Sagittarius or Aries or someone likened to those traits or attributes. And opening to the Magician, Major Arcana card 1. All about manifestation. There's magic in the air. You can manifest everything that you need to be successful. Major Arcana card 1. The Magician represents the planet Mercury in the sign of Gemini. Queen of Spring. And we're back to the Queen of Autumn again. So on that note, I will cut. We have the Queen of Spring opposite the Queen of Autumn. There may be something going on, some sort of coupling between a fire sign and an earth sign. This could be one person's energy. Maybe they have, these two elements very strong in their chart. Maybe they don't. They're just feeling particularly generous and compassionate and nurturing, and also, passionate and confident about their business at the same time. Could be about pursuing a relationship confidently, and it would be one that has longevity and could stand the test of time. With fire in a fire court card opposite an earth one. And you may be traveling to visit one another or something. If not, if this is metaphorical, there was an energy that was stuck, or maybe there was some difficulty that you're experiencing, perhaps represented by the Five of Winter that we saw a few moments ago, that you'll be surpassing and moving on from this week. The challenging times are coming to an end, and you can now breathe a sigh of relief. Let go of the past and embrace the happier times ahead. Overall energy is the Princess of Winter, who's logical, truthful, curious, and undiplomatic. This is an intellectual challenge that calls upon your ability to think of a matching solution. If helpful information is put to you bluntly, accept the message without being bothered by the messenger. The Princess of Winter is essentially the Princess of Swords, or the Page of Swords, of course, a Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. As it relates to love, if you're single, it's definitely time for you to get out and to mingle. And that came up in one of the readings that I already posted too. I don't remember if it was the moon one or the general, but there was definitely a push to go out and be social. Yeah, love is not going to fall out of the sky. So you have to be out there, and available to fellowship with people. And that could be another reason why the Hierophant, was the card with which we started, or that, that showed up in the beginning. Time to be around like-minded people. If you are already coupled, partnered, and, not in separation, of course, this can indicate a small, minor conflict is going to arise, and that may be connected to the Five of Winter that we saw again a few moments ago. Don't let it turn into something bigger. We have to know, when to fall back and when to fight to make our point, because honestly, if we think about it, most arguments are not worth having. It's just why? After every time, at least for me, every time I have an argument afterward, I'm like, why? I hate using energy that way, So if you're able to back off and you want it to blow over, that's what you should do. Back off. So I'm going to use these cards for the perspective from the masculine. This card represents the divine feminine, the masculine as it relates to the feminine himself, and the union as a whole. Overall, what the masculine would have, you know, the feminine do, surrender, contribute, whatever word or sentiment one feels to put there. The energy that the masculine would have the feminine give toward the union this week, what he wants her to, what he himself is willing to, what the universe wants both to do and even wants to help them with, but they have to first affirm, and the outcome. Just put those down. Divine Feminine. The Ace of Winter. Implementation of your brilliant new idea. Make it off to a rocky start, but keep going. The challenges will help you to refine your plan and to reshape your goals into something even better. So I talked a lot about the Ace of Winter in the general reading, actually. It's about, yeah, having had a difficult time, maybe some conflict, blocks that we kept encountering, and we're finally beyond those. Like the Ace is the card that comes after the 10. So when the 10 is up there, we're about to finally be done with this betrayal that we've experienced, with toxicity, codependency. It's coming to an end. It's been, you know, difficult. So the Ace shows up to indicate that we've triumphed over that. And to say, yeah, so now you're getting a brand new start. As opposed to the other aces, which are like immediately awesome. The Ace of Winter isn't as much because it can indicate that there's still maybe some bumps in the road, but you are getting a new start. So that's for the feminine. That's our energy. The masculine, as it relates to the feminine, may be specific to her energy as represented by the Ace of Winter, the World. So those do go together very well, because the World for me is about, yeah, like a trying situation that went on too long. And now the universe is like easing us out of that and into a far better place, into a place of victory and a fresh start, perhaps. The World has a fire feel to me. I don't have it attributed to any particular sign, but it has a fire feel to me, if that makes sense to you guys. And it could be about something coming full circle, coming back around. So maybe if we had tried a relationship before and that was difficult, it didn't work, it could be coming back around to us to give it another go in a new way. So leaving that past, you know, toxic perhaps, or difficult, trying relationship, leaving that behind and starting off with a much better one in a much better way. Congratulations on successfully accomplishing what you set out to do. You've made it through the challenges and you've incorporated the life lessons that life offered you with grace and courage. I could have just read the card instead of giving you my explanation. The masculine, as it relates to himself this week, is High Priestess. I talked about this too. And I think it was with relation to the masculine specifically. I reminded them that real G's move in silence. And the High Priestess is a real G. She is in fact a Gemini, or sometimes in the tarot can represent a water sign as well. And is someone who is intelligent. She is wise. She's extremely intuitive, psychic. And she pays attention, you know, to information that she receives from however she receives it. And then she considers it all. She doesn't block anything out. And after she's observed what's available to her, what information is available to her, and considered it all, then she decides what her next move is. But not until then. Never until then. She doesn't just jump out and, you know, go off half-cocked. Being a 2 in the tarot, that automatically connects you to partnership, but also to faith. In numerology, 2s are about faith, and they're the next step in manifestation, having started with that 1 that represents the magician. So that's where we have our thoughts. That's where we have our ideas. That's where we have our plans. And then we have faith that they'll actually come to pass with the 2. And we do our part physically. We take the action that we need to in that regard after carefully calculating what that action should be and when. So that's what the masculine That's his role this week, or that's the role he's assigned himself this week. The masculine's feelings on the union as a whole this week, and it is a 3. And we do have the 2 3s. The Major Arcana card 21, the World, is also a 3. So I mentioned that prior to starting the reading, that the 3s may pop up because, again, Sunday, the 16th, is the feast day of the Holy Trinity. So this is another 3. It is Major Arcana card 12, Awakening. Look at things in a different way, and all will make sense. Don't worry if your progress is halted temporarily. Don't worry if you're not taking action just yet, if you're not just jumping out the window. So that's okay. Things will soon start moving again. And when they do, you'll be ready, having carefully decided what your next move is. Major Arcana card 12, Awakening, is actually the Hanged Man in the tarot and represents for me the planet Neptune and the sign of Pisces, which it rules. There's a lot going on with Neptune and Pisces this week too. For one thing, Neptune goes retrograde this week. I talked about that in the general. So that may be why this is showing up here, or and you know how it's going to affect the masculine. Overall, the 10 of Winter. So all of that I explained before, we started here, and then we get that new opportunity after we triumph over these energies, which both of these absolutely showed up in the general reading too. So after we triumph, this is us here, victorious and ready to begin something again. The end of a career path, project, or relationship brings feelings of mixed joy and sadness, relief and disappointment. Put aside your fears about these changes and trust that a brighter future awaits. So let go of whatever this thing is to allow for the better thing that wants to come to you. That's what the Ace of Winter represents. That's what the World represents. What the masculine would have the feminine, what energy the masculine would have the feminine give toward the union this week. It is Major Arcana card 16, Life Experience, the Tower. Important changes are coming into your life, and they will require you to take action. Don't hesitate to move in new directions that you know are right for you. So that's the same thing that the masculine wants of you. Don't hesitate to move in new directions that you know are right for you. For some people, that is walking away from something, right? It's the end of a relationship. For some, it is a new start in one. What the masculine himself is willing to give toward the union this week, the Queen of Autumn. Nurturing, that's what he's willing to give to it. The Queen of Autumn is thoughtful, caring, creative, and ingenious. You'll be given advice that's both practical and creative, and it should be followed precisely. Focus only upon the positive in every situation or person. So he needs to look at things in that different way. Look at things from that perspective. That's why the Hangman sits here atop this. Right? Change your view. Change your view to the fact that everything has a good side, a bright side, even breakups. There's positivity in that. That my mate, my former mate, will move on to be with somebody better fitting of them. That I will move on to be with somebody better fitting of me. That's the positive. Even if we were used to this other relationship and it was comfortable because we were used to it and it was familiar, there's still something better that awaits us. And that relationship went on far too long as it is. So it needs to come to an end. That's why the World is here to help us. And again, the World for me, representative of a fire element. So it could be specifically Jupiter that comes through to help us. It could be Mars specifically that comes through to help us. I think Mars has some transits this week. At the beginning of the week, like Tuesday, might be Mars and Mercury, now that I think about it. And then Jupiter, I think square Neptune later in the week. I talked about it in the general. What the universe would like us both to do, and even wants to help us with, but we would have to first commit to affirm. It is Major Arcana card 6, the Lovers, which also represents the sign of Gemini. True and long-lasting love finds its way into your life. Follow your heart with caring actions and choices. So that's what the universe wants to help us with. Coming together in some sort of very loving partnership. So whether you're single, if you're single, the universe wants to help you to find that person that's out there waiting for you and you for them. And if you're already partnered, the universe wants to help you to either deepen your commitment or to revive it, you know, if there had been separation. But you have to first affirm to that. You have to first commit to that. And the outcome, boom, fresh start in the element of fire. Just like I said, Jupiter comes to help you. Mars comes to help you. A wonderful new opportunity presents itself. It may have come as a surprise, but you may not have expected to meet somebody new. You may not have expected to get back together with somebody. So it's a surprise, but you'll still want to leap into action and to passionately pursue every possibility when it does pop up. Wow, very nice. Now we'll do one from the perspective more so of the universe with the hashtag Creepy Deck. Again, begin with past life. Opening to twin flame. Just right out of the gate, we're going to do it like this. Past life and destiny. Those were three nice cards to have in order, right? Past life, twin flame, destiny. But here's the karmic feminine energy, brunette female. And here is the need to make some sort of free will choice with wallflower. Are we going to sit it out or dance? Speaking of dancing, I was also just shown Dating Queen. And here's another 3. She's got 3 potential suitors here wanting to give her some sort of gift. And gossip. This is like 5 of Swords kind of energy, 5 of Winter popping up, you know, maybe disagreements, could be actual gossip. Somebody talking about you, somebody, you know, trying to coax you into something that isn't in your best interest, especially opposite the brunette female. Some sort of peer pressure could be. And you have to decide to, you know, that that's not the right thing for you. And to maintain your integrity. Whoop. All right. Well, I guess they wanted us to see travel. Travel and movement and transportation definitely has been coming up in all the readings too. And we've come otherwise to control. And you see that there is somebody that's on strings. Somebody's strings are being pulled, or there's cords, etheric cords. Maybe they need to be cut to someone or something that are, you know, they do not serve our higher good, our purpose. Overall energy is young female, which, you know, may involve an actual young female or somebody youthful or that looks a lot younger than they actually are for their age. But more importantly, I guess, for me in this deck, tends to represent the planet Jupiter and the sign of Sagittarius, which Jupiter rules, and where, you know, he is currently located. Actually, I did talk about something. Oh, it's on the 16th, the same day as the full moon. Jupiter will be visible almost to the naked eye. Yes, I read about that too during the general reading. So that might be why we're seeing this. Divine being or couple. Recent past. Near future. Masculine's higher self. Blocks to individual or shared progress. Let me move these. Let's do that. What the masculine would have the feminine do, contribute, surrender toward the union. What he himself is willing to. What the universe wants both to do, but they would have to first affirm, commit to it. And the outcome. Divine being or a couple. Union. Boom. I think it's the Sagittarius full moon that's bringing this energy, because I've been feeling it and seeing it for a long time now, for weeks now. Recent past, mature woman. I see this as growth, spiritual, emotional growth, having learned from experiences. And that definitely popped up again in my other readings too. There was a lot about growth and expansion. And learning life lessons. I think a card called Life Lessons even popped up, actually. Near future. Friendship. I see this as a healing of relationships, whatever they are. And in terms of union, not only could be reuniting, but somebody who is a friend could be developing into more. We have it here, crossing union, effectively. Somebody could be developing into more. And I think I talked about that too, actually, in the moon reading. Somebody that's a friend becoming, you know, more than a friend, coming back into your life and become, you know, they're going to come back different. A deeper relationship. And we see here that there's like a wedding. It's not the right finger, but there's like a wedding band on this person's finger. So that's also an indication to me of like a deepening of a relationship that starts as friends, which is awesome. Masculine's higher self, and it is blonde female, which is actually a redhead, and for me in this deck a representation of the divine feminine. So this is where he's at. And crossing union, that sounds real good to me. Blocks to individual or shared progress or union. Not like facing true love and even your true self, which is exactly what came out in this exact position, I think in the other two readings. Certainly in the Sag new moon reading. Not being true to oneself, to one's, you know, to your real love, you know, your real identity, all of these things. Just allowing for other people to sort of control you, to pull you by strings. So that's what we want to cease to do this week. Focus on cutting that out. It could be a friend in some cases in the way. What the masculine would have the feminine do, or what the feminine can do actually to help herself, having nothing to do with the masculine. What the feminine can do to help herself in this situation or out of any blocks. Ooh, karma. Karma has to play. Karma is at play and has to be completed in different areas. So there's not really nothing you can do but to allow for that to happen, to surrender. The masculine, what he can do to help himself is work. This card, work, has several meanings for me, and you know, at all different times. One is very literal, you know, it's about effort. It is representative of the earth signs. So, you know, I don't think it's a mistake that this is showing up for the masculine, because in the last spread, the card that showed up for the masculine was the Queen of Pentacles, the Queen of Earth. So he's definitely in that energy, in that space. And this person even has green eyes, like representative of Earth. But this card in this deck tends to represent earth signs for me, and maybe most specifically Capricorn, which can be about being restricted and, you know, needing to cut cords and to break away from toxicity. So I think that's what's happening with the masculine here. And that's his advice of how he can help himself. What the universe would have the two do to help themselves, and even wants to help them with also, but they have to first affirm to it, is Ice Queen. And Ice Queen, representative, you know, of the air signs, of course, you know, first and foremost, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. And here we have like a Venus character for me with her like pet tiger. So it brings in fire energy too. And also that strength of Leo again, even though it's a tiger as opposed to a lion. And the Queen of Air, the Ice Queen, Queen of Winter, is somebody who is very good at adding people, places, and things to their lives that would serve them, and cutting people, places, and things out of their lives that do not serve them. And that's with what it seems the universe wants to help you this week. Also, Venus is currently located in Gemini, which she rules. And being there, Gemini is not very lovey-dovey. We're actually pretty detached, similar to Aquarius. And that doesn't mean that we don't love, of course we do it with, still people, but in a different way. And Venus will be helping you to soften up a little bit also, for those who need that. Those who are typically a little bit more cold, rigid even, maybe. Venus helping you to soften up, to be more true to yourself and your heart. And, it's like breaking down a facade, breaking down an ice wall. And the outcome. Oh my. Triangle. It's another 3. And it's kind of weird as an outcome. However, we did see evidence of this third party, and I was expecting to see 3s in here. So the outcome, it would seem, is to deal with this triangle. I'm going to pull the next upright card, which is this one, in clarification of this triangle too. I think the outcome is like facing it and making maybe a free will choice. That we saw that card Wallflower, and I said a free will choice is coming up. You may need to make a free will choice of, do I go with my true love and where my heart really wants me to go? Or do I do, what the world would have me do, be a people or stay stuck, somewhere stuck by like a Saturn or Capricorn energy, restricted in a relationship I don't want to be in. But the next card said, ooh, yeah, it's tied to something funky. This is tied to other people, again, trying to dictate how your life should be. So you got to make a choice. That's the outcome. Do another spread, beginning with the card number 93, the happy ending card, in my numerology deck, and opening to 99, compassion. Compassion. At 44, environment. When this card comes up for me, it is about, I think it's going to be in a compassionate way. Try to make changes to your environment. So if that means cutting people off, as Queen of Earth-like as you possibly can, most specifically you, masculine, because you got that Queen of Earth energy twice. And it does seem like you might have a third person that you need to, possibly rid yourself of. And it may be the person that, your parents think you should be with, or your friends, or society, or whatever. And you got to make a free will choice. You got to make a decision as to the people, places, and things with which you surround yourself. But you can compassionately do that. You can compassionately let people down and, tell them you're not interested. Just as easy as you can compassionately welcome them into your life. That's going to be up to you. Of course, 94 equals 13 or 4, 11, 11. So this is like 2 11 11s, or 8, which represents karma. 44, and 32, music. So you may receive signs, synchronicity, guidance through music, possibly. And however you receive messages in general this week, or whether you do or not, follow your dreams is the idea. So I think on that note, I will cut, because this pretty much speaks to being true to you. And we call the card number 67, physical activity. This is where we take that physical. I think I used the word physical when I was talking about like when we finally take action. Physical action is going to come up after the free will choice. 67 again also equals 13 or 4, 11, 11. And the card number, speaking of eights, card number 88, abundance, is our overall energy. Couple times 2 cards wanted to come out, and usually I would let them, but I didn't, so I'm not sure what that was about with me, but we'll see what we got. Crowning the masculine, it is card number 8, manifestation. With this overall energy of abundance, this is awesome for you, masculine. It's drawing in what it is you truly want, but you have to make a focused intention. So again, it's going to first involve a free will choice. And then once you pick what it is you want, you make a focused intention on that, or you pray, like I talked in the beginning about prayer, and it said continue to pray on it, continue to pray on it in all ways. All the different ways you can pray on it is what that passage says. Do that, make your intentions, meditate, whatever you choose to call it, and that is how you're going to bring this abundance towards you, masculine. Very nice for you. And it can easily be in the area specifically of love, not just because this is the love reading, but we have the 3 8s here. 8 times 3 equals 24 equals 6 equals love. Boom. Masculine surrounded by 63, parenting. You know why this is hilarious to me? Why I almost started laughing? Because in the moon reading, masculine got a card from a totally different deck. I didn't use this deck of parenting as well. And I said it was about him growing up, like having to handle business on his own, in his own way. Possibly for the first time, you know, maybe he's been, some of us, you know, we graduate high school, for example, and we go straight into like a roommate situation, or, you know, we don't leave home at all. You know, we stay home. We don't even go away to college or anything. We stay home, and, you know, we're always with our family or our parent or whoever we're with. You know, we just haven't experienced life by ourselves, or on having to make all the decisions by ourselves, or to do really what we want. We've always been in this position to try to please somebody else. Maybe we got married right away, you know, and so we've always been with other people. I don't think I've ever been really, really alone. I got married so young. I've always either had, you know, my husband or my kids. I was by my, you know, I was alone very, very shortly. So that sort of thing. This is him sort of, he's the parent, he's a grown-up, and he's making the rules. It's funny also, right before I did this reading, I was talking to my daughter. We're trying to make plans for Father's Day. Also, we got to celebrate like my birthday as a family, and the fact that she won an award the other day. She got the English Excellence Award at the Senior Awards Night. And so we wanted to, you know, recognize all those things together, and we're trying to figure out what to do for dinner. And I kept asking her, like, where do you want to go? And she's like, I don't know. She's like, you're the parent, you're the mother. And I said, I think that's debatable. She's like, no, it's not. What are you talking about? So, yeah, like, you know, we get to this place where we have to grow up and make the decisions. So that's where the masculine is. Masculine subconscious, card number 99, compassion. So whatever decisions you make and whatever you have to do, you got to let people down, you got to lift people up. Whatever you do it in a loving and compassionate way. Especially you handle yourself in a loving and compassionate way. And in doing so, you, again, make decisions that are best for you. Or by making decisions that are best for you, you show yourself compassion and love. Crowning the feminine. It is another 3, creativity. This is coming up with creative ways to help ourselves. This can be about co-creating too. And it has that energy of 3, so there's support from the spirit realms, especially if you choose to ask for it. And you can look at the other two as your own inner masculine and feminine, not dependent on anybody else. You're masculine, you're feminine, and source, God, the universe, however you want to look at it. But you're not alone, basically. Feminine surrounded by. Card number 16, rebirth, which is very Scorpio for me. It's that sort of like the ending and a new beginning, and it may be connected to that conjunction, I'm pretty sure I remember, between Pluto and Mercury toward the beginning of the week. Something ends and something begins with rebirth. Feminine subconscious, card number 78, spiritual career. Something could be ending in the area of work, and we could be moving more toward ourselves, being true to us, and changing our whole line of work and everything. And that may connect to our love life. Maybe that causes us to work with our masculine or something like that, or to meet him. When we end up doing something that helps to facilitate a meeting, a serendipitous meeting, it can be many, many things. Crowning. Follow your dreams. Yes, again, amen. Follow your dreams. It's about being true to you this week. I mean, it always is, but there's been a tremendous focus on that in my readings, all 3 or 4 of them at this point that I've done this weekend, on this. At the root, foundation, happy ending, very nice. And it's another 3, again, 93 equals 12 equals 3. And at the heart of the matter, 14, moderation. In the tarot, card number 14 is also about moderation. It is Major Arcana card Temperance, and it is about meeting people, compromise. It is about collaboration, co-creation, and balance. And I think that's what we're getting here with this too. I'll pull another card to see, maybe for the most part, at least. I mean, it's going to play out differently for different people. In what area do we need this moderation most? And it is in time management, making sure we have time for ourselves, time for our relationships, time for, other situations in our family, our career, whatever. Make sure you're taking the time out. I didn't use these, but I will go ahead and give us, and I'll shuffle them a little bit, give us an advice card from them, beginning with, again, Major Arcana card Strength, and opening to Major Arcana card 18, the Moon, important psychic insights, events behind the scenes, release fears that hold you back. The Moon, again, represents the planet Neptune in the sign of Pisces, which it rules, but can be connected to other water signs. Earth's actual moon rules the sign of Cancer. Strength. Oh. Major Arcana card 0, the Dreamer, which is actually the Fool. In this card, it always has connected to, maybe because Metatron connects to Mercury for me. Metatron is Enoch, is Mercury, is Thought. It's all the same, being at different vibrations from me. Based on what I've been shown since I started doing this. So maybe that's why, but because it represents planet Mercury, therefore Gemini and Virgo energy I get from this card, the Dreamer. A leap of faith, follow your dreams, that leads to unexpected opportunities. And again, Mercury in transit this week with Pluto, I believe. Major Arcana card 20, renewal is actually judgment in the tarot and represents for me the planet Pluto and the sign of Scorpio, which it rules. Review and evaluate, a favorable assessment of the facts. It's time to move in a new direction. So there's that rebirth, right? Dead to the old, and the new is the new start. The new direction is the fresh start, the birth. Strength, and do one more, and it is the King of Fire, motivational, idealistic, ambitious, and charismatic. Focus, focus, focus. Communicate with vision and be a leader. Take advice from someone creative if you get that opportunity. The King of Fire is a Leo, Sagittarius, or Aries, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. And of course, is the quintessential divine masculine of the tarot. Here, opposite Strength, it may be relating specifically to a Leo out there. or to that Leo energy that has, again, shown up quite a bit in all of my readings this weekend. The Strength. Look. The Knight of Fire. I'm sorry, Knight of Air. Intelligent, decisive, tireless, and idealistic. Events that occur with great speed. Take time to carefully review your options so you can come up with creative solutions. The Knight of Air is a Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. And the overall energy is the Page of Air, which is logical, honest, impulsive, and curious. Challenging information, delays or changes to plans, and truth delivered without tact. The Page of Air, like the Knight we just saw, is also a Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. And as I mentioned before, the Page of Air or Page of Swords, when it shows up, if we are single, we need to get out. And if we are coupled, we need to avoid conflict. Keepers of the Light Oracle, beginning again with the Miriam, Sacred Vision, opening to the Divine Director, Intervention and Purpose. Divine intervention is occurring. Know that you're being guided. Happiness is your purpose. Divine Director. And Mercury, open communication. Get a weight off your chest. Speak up with love and be heard. So we've seen all this Mercury, all this air turn up in this reading. And Lady Portia, Divine Order. She's kind of like a justice for me. She's Saint Germain's Divine Feminine. Do what you feel is right. An important lesson is unfolding. So again, following your dreams, following your heart, doing what you feel is right. I'll do one more. And it is Cthulhu in the Cloak of Wisdom. You already know the answer that you seek. Trust what you know. Again, be yourself. Trust yourself. Be true to yourself. Trust your heart. Trust your intuition. Cthulhu. And Kuan Yin, care and compassion. Choose to be love. Do what's right for everyone involved and offer a helping hand. Overall energy is the Holy Spirit, which I think is pretty awesome this week, the week on which, or in which the Feast of the Holy Trinity falls. Expect miracles. Remember that only love is real. Miracles will occur naturally. Spirit has your back. So like I was saying here for the feminine, like you're not alone, even if you're single. You know, it's you and you've got two parts to you. And then you got the spirit. Two archetypes to you, not just two parts. And Leslie, again, the Sibylla deck, beginning with the Jack of Hearts and opening to the Queen of Hearts. And you see her, she's like lovingly holding and looking at a picture of what appears to be her divine masculine. Queen of Hearts. The Four of Spades. Somebody that looks ill. They need some like recovery. This is like the Four of Swords sort of thing. And the Eight of Hearts. Fondly looking at maybe a statue of her masculine. Or of a divine masculine. And I see another 44. The Five of Spades. And here we see Anubis guiding a soul. It looks like to Osiris to talk to him. So that's kind of like a Libra kind of card, a balance kind of card. Five of Spades. I'm going to cut there. And coming to the Queen of Clubs. Somebody who looks very passionate and happy, and that's probably because clubs represent fire. And the overall energy is the Six of Spades, which does look like the Six of Swords and like, you know, moving into calmer, stiller waters. But in this deck is really more so about looking back on life and not being regretful, like not making sure that we do what we want. We follow our dreams, we follow our hearts in life so that we don't have to look back later and say, I wish I had. From the Keepers of the Light Oracle to the Masculine, your advice is Serapis Bay, Ascension, move into your true self. It's just funny that all the cards, you know, basically like repeating each other. Rise above the darkness. The light is here. So like rise above any drama, any foolishness, and above, you know, people, places, and things with which you no longer resonate, and move toward what you do and what you desire. Feminine. Maybe because we're going through a rebirth and experiencing something new, we may be on our own or feeling on our own, but again, we're not. We have, you know, both of our archetypes, and we have the Holy Spirit, or the source, God, the universe behind us, however you want to look at it, so we can face that fear. Kali Ma, major spiritual changes are unfolding. This is your chance to soar. So make sure you go forward without worry. Masculine, it's another Four of Winter or Four of Swords. So we see time out, and then we just saw that card a little while ago. I said there was some men in it, and I said somebody needs a recovery, somebody needs a break. They need to get their strength back. And now we have the Four of Winter showing up saying the same thing. Thoroughly think things through before making a decision. Continuing to overanalyze isn't going to get you any closer to a resolution, but meditation and prayer will bring you the answers you seek. So here's another also like a confirmation of your need to pray, make an intention, meditate on something. Again, however you want to look at it, by whatever name you choose to call it. Manifestation is basically what it's about. From the Animal Tarot to the Feminine, there could be some sort of conflict, or you may be conflicted. Occasionally, you may experience clashes with others. If you decide the matter is worth your energy, then do what you can to minimize the conflict without sacrificing your goals or beliefs. The person with whom you have a conflict, perhaps they'll be a fire sign. More positively for me, the Five of Spring, although it doesn't look very positive, particularly in this deck, it's about the planet Mars, guiding us, again, when and how to take action, and that is aggressively when it does tell us to take that action. From the hashtag Creeper deck to the Masculine, freedom. Very Aquarian energy of cutting cords to something, again, with which you no longer resonate. Something, someone, whatever, combinations of those, whatever. This is about you breaking free and being true to you, living your true life, and definitely is connected to air energy. With all these clouds and everything. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Feminine for us. Ooh, dark male. Just like he had the blonde female, which is the representation. And feminine for me in this deck, the dark male is a representation of the divine masculine. So whereas his focus was on the feminine, it looks like ours is to be on the masculine. And that's how the collaboration is going to occur. We should maybe make sure we take time out for it, put time aside for our relationships. And then we have the 14 or the 5 and the 37 or 10 or 1 together equals, again, another 6 equals love. So taking time to work on that, to co-create that. From the Angel Tarot to the Masculine. Ooh, it's worry. The Nine of Air, expecting the worst, self-fulfilling prophecies, and sleepless nights. Maybe that's why he needs to this rest and recovery with the Four of Winter. But we saw 9 and 4 together before. And that was with the environment cards and the compassion cards. The environment was card number 44 and compassion was card number 99. So we had those 2, 9, and 4s together. And now it's happening again here for the masculine. I'm going to pull another one of these Angel Tarot cards for clarification, just to see what, again, for the majority, what is this thing that's on their mind that's keeping them up at night, that they're struggling with. So I will take again the next upright card. So this is our overall energy, the Page of Air. I turn it around. This is the next upright card. Everyone to see. Just worried that they're not going to be successful. But this says different. It's the 6 of Fire. Victory. Good news, it's on its way. Also public recognition or awards. So, again, it's about having that strength. It's about Jupiter. It's about Mars supporting you and helping you to work, to seek your freedom, to work through whatever your issues are. And to live your life as you choose and want to. For the feminine from the Angel Tarot, the High Priestess, Major Arcana card 2. Listen to your intuition. Have patience and consider carefully what you want before acting. So we talked a lot about that before. The real G's move in silence. You don't have to let everybody know what you're doing, especially if you're not even sure what you're doing. Consider all the angles first, all the perspectives, and then decide what your next move is. Major Arcana card 2, the High Priestess, for me represents the sign of Gemini, as well as the water signs, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, as far as that intuition and stuff. And lastly, from my Egyptian Sibylla deck to the masculine, the 5 of Hearts. And that looks like a very happy card. So celebration because of victory, perhaps, just in family and getting together. This could be showing up as a separate sort of energy, maybe because of Father's Day, because it's like a happy couple here and their children playing. But I will read that for the masculine. And for the feminine, our card is, we got a 5 too. Each of us has a 5. To match this 5 that's at the heart of the matter here. And this is the 5 of Spades, which again, pictures on it, Anubis and a divine feminine soul that he seems to be guiding. It may be connected to rebirth. So we'll read that also for the feminine. The 5 of Hearts. Happiness. Festival. Didn't it say, one of the other cards say, your purpose is happiness, or purpose is to be happy? That's the masculine's advice here. Happiness festival. Happiness is for those who are carefree. And who know how to celebrate the beauty of life and friendship. Pay no attention to the sacrifices and frustration. Indulge in the present happiness in order to create, or co-create maybe, further joy. Who loves you will know and will reciprocate and increase the good that you're experiencing, or that will come shortly. Shadows must be temporarily forgotten. Make light more often of your faults and talk with those who blame you for them. You'll find that laughter is so contagious as to win everyone over. Here's you winning. If you know how to fill your life with happiness, you'll be barely brushed by sadness, even in the darkest of times. So even when you are going through something, it's about perspective again. We saw that earlier. Feminine for us, the 5 of clubs. I'm sorry, spades. 5 of spades. Put it down for a second. Death. So definitely connected to this. The god Anubi accompanies a soul, closing a cycle or immediate transformation, death, painful changes, or the ending of situations, boredom, lack of opportunity, and despair. They must all be fought by accepting change in all of the important aspects of our lives, right? Allowing ourselves to go through the rebirth process. Try saying no. Really try to close a cycle and not put off a definitive solution to that problem. Beware of excuses that you will almost certainly look for to invent. And I don't remember what reading it was, if it was the general or if it was, I think it was the moon reading. I said that what was coming up was an indication that we couldn't look for excuses anymore. Like we had to stop the excuses was the message that I was getting. So here's that again. Beware of those excuses that you'll definitely try to look for. Those who don't cut ties with the past always blame others for faults that are theirs. So that is our message from them. Oh, did I forget? I thought that was the last card, but I see the numerology I didn't do. Okay, one second. The numerology deck for the masculine. Oh, very nice. Domestic harmony. Maybe that's after you move from where you don't belong or move to where you do belong or where you want to be or whatever it is. You start to live how you want to. So that's the harmony. Or if you choose to go that route of starting to live how you want to, you have your 4 + 6 = 10 = 1 for new beginnings. And feminine for, oh, wow. Love partnership totally resonates with the rest of the reading, with union and twin flame and the masculine's domestic harmony and happy ending and following your dreams and all that kind of stuff. So congratulations to all to whom this applies. I definitely saw a lot of air on air, maybe a slight age difference, slight maybe, because it was like the Knight of Air kept showing up and the Page. So could be something there, or maybe the Page is representative of a child for some, and there's a decision you have to make in that regard, maybe having to do with parenting. Sometimes we feel stuck, like we got to stay with our child or the parent, even if we're miserable. That's not true. I don't care if it's Father's Day, if it's Mother's Day, whatever day it is, that's not true, and children, they grow up in those environments that are forced. They deal with their own share of stuff too. They can feel it, they can sense it, they're not dumb. Even young children tend to know what's really happening, and so it's unhealthy. Look for a healthy situation for yourself and those for whom you feel responsible. I hope that you guys have enjoyed the reading and you find it helpful. I'll be back with the client readings. Thank you again for liking, sharing, subscribing, and for joining me today. Namaste.